People called it an urban legend, too grotesque, too theatrical, too evil to be true. And then the forest started taking people anyway. At first it was just a missing man, then another, then 10. No screams, no witnesses, just absence where a person used to be. The police shrugged, the families begged, the city kept moving, and the park kept swallowing the ones who walked in alone. Eventually the locals gave the thing in the trees a name, because naming it felt like the only power they had left. What they didn't know was this: the monster wasn't hiding in the woods. He lived among them, and he went to the park every day. And the moment the first body was found, everything they feared stopped being a story and became a schedule. Moscow is a city of extremes: glittering money up north, crumbling survival 10 miles south, where hope dried up after 1991. In those southern suburbs, people didn't move forward. They endured, packed into aging concrete towers that looked identical from every angle. Jobs vanished. Alcohol and drugs filled the space left behind. Police were underfunded, often corrupt, and mostly absent when you needed them. But the locals had one escape: a massive green forest on the edge of their world. Bitsevsky Park. It was huge: streams, clearings, wildlife. 4 miles of quiet that felt like breathing again after weeks underwater. People walked there to remember what it felt like to be human, and for years it worked. Then in 2001, the forest started taking them. Men went in alone and never came out. 10 vanished between May and July, all last seen in or near the deepest wooded section. Families begged for searches. Police dismissed them as drunks who wandered off. The forest stayed silent. October brought another disappearance, then 4 more before the year ended. Always the same pattern: alone, near the forest, gone. And still, no investigations, no press, no urgency. In a place like this, tragedy wasn't shocking, it was normal. From 2002 through late 2005, 25 more people disappeared. 24 men, 1 woman, unclear if she even fit the same pattern. 40 missing, 0 answers. The fear became background noise until disappearance number 41 returned as a body. His name was Nikolai, retired police, tough, stubborn, the kind of man who believed danger respected confidence. November 2005, he told his sister he was taking a walk in the park. That night, he didn't come home. The next morning, still nothing. The family reported him missing. Police did what they always did: nothing. Days later, a local walking deep in the woods noticed something off trail in the underbrush and called police from a distance. It was Nikolai, face down, fully clothed, and the back of his head was destroyed. Not a gunshot. A massive, blunt impact, so hard it blew away part of his skull. And there were no tracks, no weapon, no clue. That was the moment the rumors turned solid. People stopped arguing about drunks wandering off. This was murder. Investigators arrived from Moscow. They searched the park for days, every trail, every clearing, finding nothing else. But the public didn't need more bodies to feel the threat. Parents banned children. Neighbors warned neighbors. The killer was given a name, not because it explained anything, but because fear sounds smaller when it has a label. Then a week later, another man vanished, and days later, he was found. Same injury. Between November 2005 and April 2006, 9 more bodies appeared, skull crushed from behind, like someone walked up calmly and ended them. Many had glass bottles jammed into the wounds, an almost deliberate signature, like the killer wanted to be understood. By then, the park was nearly empty. Only the reckless, the desperate, and the stubborn stepped inside. And one of the most stubborn was a man nobody feared, because nobody noticed him at all. His name was Alexander. He lived with family in a tiny apartment he'd never escaped, a life of routine and quiet frustration. As a child, a swing hit his head hard enough to change him. No hospital, no help. Just, he seems fine. School turned him into a target. He was mocked, isolated, and taught daily that he didn't belong with normal people. Then his grandfather taught him chess, and something clicked, like a locked door finally opened. He became brilliant fast. The old men in the park adored him. For the first time, he felt respected. The park became his sanctuary. Even as people disappeared, he returned, because it was the only place he mattered. His mother begged him to stop going. One day off, just one. He always answered the same. "I'll be fine." April 2006, at least 50 gone, 10 bodies found, and Alexander still walked into the park like it belonged to him. One morning at his grocery job, he saw a new worker, Larissa, 48, confident in a quiet way that felt impossible to ignore. He'd never had a girlfriend. Words failed him, so he waited and watched until chance handed him a simple opening. Outside, she searched for a light. He offered his lighter. She accepted, and suddenly they were talking like it was normal. They walked together, learning small details, where they lived, how close their buildings were, how the night felt unusually still. At her building entrance, he asked to keep walking and suggested the park, like it was the most natural place in the world. She agreed immediately, too easily, and they stepped through the gates together. The chess tables were empty. No old men, no laughter, no pieces clicking. Just wind and the distant hum of the city. They should have turned back, but neither wanted the moment to end. So they followed a looping trail into the trees. As they walked, the light thinned. Branches blocked the sky. Their conversation stayed cheerful, but their pace quietly increased. The trail began to change. Broken logs, low branches, uneven ground. And without saying it, they both realized they were lost. Then they stopped. He turned to face her, and her expression didn't fit the moment, like she'd been holding something back for years. She slid down the trunk, cheek pressed to bark, and started crying. Hard, like fear finally had permission to speak. Through sobs, she looked up and asked a question so direct it froze the air. "You're the maniac, aren't you?" He didn't deny it. He smiled like someone being recognized at last. She asked the next question like it was a mercy request. "Are you going to kill me?" He answered without hesitation. "Yes." He stepped behind her, raised a hammer, and ended the date with a sound the forest had heard many times before. He left her there and pushed a glass bottle into the wound like a signature carved into flesh. His first killing happened in 1992. He was 18. He told a classmate he wanted to kill, and the classmate said he did too. They entered the park hunting for a stranger, but the classmate lost his nerve, and fear made Alexander furious. When the classmate turned his back to leave, Alexander swung the hammer into the back of his skull. Then he dragged the body to a hidden well and lifted the lid. The shaft dropped 30 feet into black water. No ladder, a current below, a system of tunnels that could swallow anything. Whether the victim died from the blow or drowned doesn't matter. The well erased him. For 9 years, Alexander waited. Then in 2001, he began again, this time with men who trusted him. One victim was a chess friend. Alexander lured him off trail with a story about visiting a buried dog's grave. Vodka was shared. Trust was confirmed. The man turned around, and the hammer ended the friendship. Body to the well, lid closed, silence restored. 2 victims didn't die. Their clothing snagged inside the shaft, stopping the fall. They crawled out when he was gone. They went to police, named him, identified him, and were told to stay quiet or be punished. That silence became his shield. The well became his bin, and the park became a place where people could vanish without consequence. 2 months after Larissa, another woman met him at the grocery store. Marina, 35, hired to replace Larissa's vacant position. Before their walk, Marina stopped home and left her son a note. Where she'd be, who she'd be with, Alexander's name and number included. Alexander understood instantly. If Marina vanished, he would be caught. He still walked her toward the park, not confused, not impulsive, decided. By then, he'd started leaving bodies out in the open, posed, visible, signed, like he wanted the world to finally look at him. This wasn't just killing anymore. It was announcement. The note ensured the announcement would end with his name. When police arrested him, he didn't fight. He talked, and talked, like he'd been waiting for an audience his whole life. In his apartment, they found a notebook. Inside, a chessboard drawn like a scoreboard. 62 squares filled. He explained it calmly. That was his count, his score. 2 had survived, so the true death count was 60, and he wanted credit for everyone. Investigators charged him with 49 murders, only what evidence could prove. He was disappointed. He asked the judge to count the rest. The judge refused. During trial, he showed no remorse. He looked entertained, like the spectacle was the reward. Sentence: life in prison, no parole, and 15 years in solitary confinement. A cell with nothing, no people, no chessboard, no audience. Just hours stacked like bricks. And somewhere beyond that forest, life continued, because the park had finally stopped taking people. After his arrest, the forest finally went quiet. No more disappearances, no more bodies. The thing people feared for years didn't vanish into legend. It was taken out of the trees in handcuffs. Searches of the park uncovered hidden wells, forgotten access points, and places no one had thought to look. Spaces designed to erase people without leaving answers. For years, the park had protected him, not because it was evil, but because no one wanted to believe something like this could exist so close to home. Alexander never blamed the park. He blamed people for overlooking him, underestimating him, and never noticing he was there at all. In court, he showed no remorse, no grief, only disappointment that not every death had been counted the way he believed it should be. Today, the park is open again. People walk its paths. Children play. Chessboards sit in the shade. But for those who remember, every quiet trail still carries the same warning. Because people entered this park alone. And for a long time, none of them came back.